This is the story of this girl who grew up doing the same job all her life, doing the same tasks, more or less, wearing the same clothes, more or less, and never wanting anything more or less. And in her office there was a window, but she couldn't see it from her cubicle, so she barely remembered it was there, until one day she looked up from the water cooler and saw a mass of dark clouds gathering, with the last rays of the sun highlighting the buildings. And soon enough, it was raining, and then it was hailing, and she stood there while it lasted, squeezing her plastic cup of cold, cold water and gazing through the dirty glass as the tiny white stones splashed circles in the new puddles on the street. She stood there while it lasted, and she went back to her desk and never looked through that window again. And it's the story of the man who woke up one day to find out his skin had shrunk so much that it would no longer cover the insides of his body. And from that day on, he had to go to work with his muscles showing, his veins exposed, and his skull occasionally glinting from underneath his scalp. "What do you want me to do?" he would say. "I can't go into a shop and ask for a bigger skin. They think I'm crazy," but people laughed. You know the way people are. And so he kept going as he was, getting dust in his cartilage and tendons twanging in the wind, and soon enough they stopped noticing him. They just wouldn't talk to him. They would act as if they couldn't see his beautiful off-white bones and glittering veins. And this is the story of the people who hold funerals every day for the dead they read about in newspapers, the car accident victims, the bombing victims, they name them all, down at the ugly old cemetery overtaken by the city, which is faster than it ever was, the one with a few scattered headstones, crumbling into the rusty brown grass, stuck between the warehouse and the motorway and wrapped in wire fence. They go down there at the grey hours and they string together litanies of names and nonsense words in a made-up ritual that's never the same. They chant Charlie, sorrow, Sedley, Jenny, hurt, pain, empty, Stephen, Kate, and they wait for the wind to rise. They wait for the storm before the calm. And sometimes the wind does rise and blows ravens and razors and oily wrappings into the cemetery and brings with them a symphony of screeching brake sirens and rape whistles from the other side of the city. And sometimes the night is just dark enough for the wind to shake the dust into images flickering in the headlights of the passing cars as they chant, "Tom, come, Emily, come, John, come." The wind dies. They go away. And there is no ending here. Thanks. How am I? Thank you very much. How am I doing the time?